What's up guys? About 2 months ago I was live on Periscope and I was doing some video editing, and a lot of you were interested in knowing exactly what I do to make some of these YouTube videos. So I decided to put a tips and tricks video for you guys who shoot video that may be able to help you guys out. So without further ado, let's get started. So for this first tip, you'll need a third-party plugin called Colorista 3 by Red Giant. And I've been using this plugin for about a year now, and I have to thank Marques Brownlee, also most of you know him as MKBHD, for actually telling me about this plugin. And this plugin works with Adobe Premiere, which is what I use, and also Final Cut Pro and a couple of other different programs. So I'm gonna assume that you guys know basic understanding of video editing. So go ahead and drop your footage into the timeline and do a search for Colorista, assuming that you've already installed the plugin. And once you find it, go ahead and drop it onto your footage or the effects control panel. And what we wanna do here is change the color of my shirt. So go ahead and click on Edit and select the rectangular marquee tool up here, okay? Now what I want to do is mask my shirt, so try and select the largest area that you can, and then if you need to fine tune it, go ahead and hit on that plus sign and then just select it. Don't worry if you guys go over and you see a little bit, you know, on the background, just click on the minus and then you can kind of fine tune it. I'm going to move my clipping a little bit just to the left and right here, and then I'm going to turn the softness to 2%. And I'm just gonna go ahead and fix this little bit too much there. You can spend several minutes on it, but I think for now it should be fine. So now what I'm gonna do is turn the strength down to 50% because I just wanna change the color slightly, a little bit more darker blue. So I'm gonna bump up my saturation to 50%. And then I'm gonna probably turn my hue, let's do about 20. And it's gonna be interesting because now it's gonna look probably more like an Apple t-shirt. You know, like when you go to the Apple store? Yeah, there you go. And I'm gonna show you how crazy you can get. So I'm gonna turn it down to minus 100. So look, it's gonna be green. And you'll notice that there's a little bit of blue on the edges. So you'll have to go back and edit and make a couple of changes, maybe turn the softness up a little bit. So I'll go back to 20. So you can see here, and I'll show you guys the before and after here. So you guys can see the difference. Before, after, before, after. And I'll go ahead and click on play so you guys can see this in real time. So you're probably telling yourself, this is cool, Armando, but how is this going to help me in my workflow? Well, the reason I did the demo on the shirt was to show you the impact of the effect. The way I actually use it is to mask certain parts of my shot that were either overexposed or that need adjustment. So let me give you a real world example on how I would use it on one of my videos. So take for example this shot. Everything looks good, properly exposed, but that wasn't the case. Let me go ahead and turn the effect off, and you can see how dark my hand looks. Big difference, right? On, off. So I'm gonna show you exactly what I did here. So what I did was I bumped the exposure, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn it down slightly because I feel like it's a little bit too much. There we go. So that's kind of how I would like it. So I'm gonna show you off, on. So that's a big difference. I'll show you exactly what I did here. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on edit, and you'll see that I grabbed my hand, I masked it in a little bit of the tree too because I wanted to bring up the highlights. So pay attention to the tree when I turn the effect off and then when I turn it back on. So you can see here on the trunk of the tree, when I turn it off, it's a little darker as opposed to when I turn it back on, you can see the highlights. And of course with my hand too, it looks a lot nicer. So believe it or not, I use this technique on almost every video that I do. Sometimes the background is a little bit overexposed, or I need to bring up the shadows a little bit on just a particular part, so this allows me to do that. Let me show you another trick too that I know. So for this next trick, I'm gonna show you how I did these cool transition effects that I did a lot in my Audi video, and a lot of people were asking me, so here's another one. So basically it transitions from one clip to another. And as you can see in the timeline, I did quite a bit. So I'm gonna show you how you can do that. So a shout out to YouTuber Danny Winget for telling me about VideoBlocks. And VideoBlocks is a website that lets you download stock footage, different types of backgrounds, and even After Effects templates if you guys wanna do any intros, logos, or even cinematic trailers like many YouTubers have on their channel. And if you're producing a lot of videos, this is a no-brainer. They have over 115,000 clips from their unlimited library, and it's 100% royalty-free, so there are no concerns when you're using them in commercial projects. Typically for a 1-year membership, it's $99 for a whole year, but if you guys want to give it a try, I have a 7-day free trial linked in the description. So I'm gonna go ahead and type in transitions, and you can see here, you can type just about anything and you'll probably end up finding it. And there's a lot of different transitions. This one looks pretty neat. I think I'm gonna go ahead and download this one. And that's the beauty of it. I can just download it, and if for whatever reason I don't like it, doesn't matter. I can go ahead and pick something else, like maybe this one. And I kind of like that it shows you a little quick preview before you download it. Oh, this is nice, a little particle effect. Let me just go ahead and scroll down here. Look at that, 119 pages. So now that we finished downloading it and imported it into our video, let me show you the transition that we will be replacing, which is this one. Goodbye. Let's go ahead and remove that. And let me just zoom in here really quick to show you how we're gonna do this. And this is our new bursting energy, which looks really, really cool. So let's go ahead and drop that on top. And what we want to do is move the transition so it's in between both clips. However, we want to position it in a way that its brightest point of the transition is right in the middle of both of the clips that we're trying to join together, so that the blend effect is pretty much optimal. And I think I got it here too. So you can see right where both clips are joining together, my transition is at its brightest point, so that it's basically covering both clips. So let me go ahead and show you. Let me turn the effect off and let me show you where both of the clips are together. So here's one clip, and then you can see here, let me scrub. There's the other clip. So these two clips are combining together, and then when I turn the effect back on, you can see it's at its brightest point, so it's covering both layers, so that when you hit play, the transition looks pretty much flawless. Now the only other recommendation I have is adjust the blend mode, and you do this by going into opacity and then go ahead and switch it to, I would say screen is probably a better one, but you can go ahead and play around with the other ones. But usually I use screen, and it actually helps sell the effect more. On this one it wasn't too bad, so I could have actually left it alone, but using screen or any of the other blend modes actually blends in with the main footage a lot nicer. And you can use this technique for other things other than transitions. For example, here I have this Audi that's passing by, and I'm using like a particle effect, I guess. Let me turn the layer off so you can see here. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit play, and you can see the different particles that are kind of emulating like it's kicking up dust. So I'm using the same thing. I'm doing a screen blend mode, and I'm pretty much using that same technique where I'm putting it right in between those two frames, and I'm blending them together so it looks like it's disappearing. So hopefully these tips and tricks will help you make better videos, or at least speed up your workflow. I'm gonna leave the links down below to Red Giant's Colorista and also VideoBlock, so make sure you guys go ahead and check them out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more videos like this, let me know by hitting on that like button or leaving a comment down below. Thanks again for watching, and you will catch me in the next one. Adios.